Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, for those that may jump on later, I am doing a pop-up live. I promised, I think it was Kingdom Women Connect. And if you're in Kingdom Women Connect, you know I have transitioned over to my business page, which is Tanya Hart Ministries. I come to talk to y'all and chop it up for whoever joined. Again, I know it's a pop-up. I didn't put no flyer out there, but I want to talk about a topic today. So make sure you like, you share when you join. And I just want to welcome everyone to the conversation. But as we prepare and as we get ready to talk about this, we're going to be talking about how to shrink our plates. I discussed this with them and I said I wanted to go live and kind of discuss it and give you principles. If you know me, I love to give principles that will give you an opportunity to process. And once you process, you're able to progress and move into your divine purpose. So let's get ready to talk about it Tuesday, where we're talking about how to shrink your plate. Here we go. Make sure you like and share all of that great stuff. Let's rock out together.
We're learning life, embracing love, managing marriage, maneuvering in ministry, and managing money. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It podcast.
What's up? What's up? So here we go. Y'all give me a minute because I thought I can do that really, really quick and try to share on my different pages. I don't like to actually put it out there, but just on one page, and I don't know why I did that. But here we go. We're talking about how to shrink your plate. I'm multitasking. How to shrink your plate. And if you know me, I love to dialogue. So if you own, put the number one and say, hey, I'm ready to hear these principles, Tanya, that you're talking about. Because I have too much on my plate. I got too much going on in my life right now, girl. And I need you to kind of give me some principles that can help me so that I won't lose my mind. I won't go crazy. I won't give up. I won't throw in the towel because right now I feel like everything is hitting me like a ton of bricks. If that is you, this particular conversation is definitely for you. Again, if you watch the replay, I know it's a pop up, but welcome. If you're joining me now, welcome. And we're going to be talking about this particular topic of how to shrink your plate. So the reason why I thought about this is because I was with Kingdom Women Connect, and being in Kingdom Women Connect, and I had all of these Facebook groups. I had about three different Facebook groups on top of being a mother, on top of being a wife, on top of being, a pastor, an author, mentor, all of that, and a business owner. Doing all of those things, I realized, man, I had too much going on and I was trying to balance it all out. I have an amazing administrator, but we already do a lot in church. And so I don't want to put that on her. But what I realized is that, man, I gotta, shrink my plate. And one of the things I realized in the Kingdom Women Connect, a lot of stuff that I do, I already share out here on my Tanya Hart Ministries, where we do coffee and conversation with my hubby. And every now and then I go live like this just to kind of share some things that are impressed on my heart, to just kind of share and that I'm learning throughout my life, this thing called life. So with that, I was like, hold on, let me fix this. All right. So I was like, okay, let me just kind of let them know that I'm going to be deleting that page. And if you don't know, got a new page, right? Added something else to my plate, but I took away one thing and added another one. But I realized that was going to be necessary for where we're going in our business. So necessary. And so with that, I realized, okay, I got to learn how to shrink my plate. These are principles and things that I teach my mentees. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me also learn for myself. And so I started reading my different notes. I keep content and keep information, right? And I started reading that. Right? Excuse me. And so in the midst of that, I realized, okay, wait a minute. If I'm going to keep momentum, if we're going to keep momentum, we got to realize one thing. Uh-oh. Okay, make sure that was working. How we're going to keep momentum, we got to realize one thing. We got to realize that in order to keep momentum, in order to keep my focus, I got to learn that, number one, I can't do everything. That's really not my point, not my principles. But I can't do everything. I got to be willing to understand the power of letting some things go. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you principles, but learning how to let some things go so that I can grow. And if I'm continuing to hold on to things just to say that I'm doing something, it's not good. It's not great. So I want to encourage you, any person that is watching, man, the power of letting things go and shrinking your plate. Excuse me, the power of letting things go and shrinking your plate. What I realized that maybe you have too much, maybe there's too much going on, too much happening in your life, and I gotta allow my cravings to be different. I learned this from my mentor, excuse me, Nona Jones. It's like going to a place. Oh, my throat is really bothering me. Pray for me, Jesus. Excuse me. I learned from Nona Jones this. One of the things that Nona Jones said, she said, shrink your plate. And it was in a mentor group that I had. And because I remember in 2018, I thought I was losing my mind. I don't know if you've ever been there where you have so much going on, so many things your hands in, so many things that you're doing because you want to continue to grow, continue to move, but you realize that, wait a minute, okay, I need to take a mental break. Like, this is too much on me, especially when you've been hit, especially when you've been dogged out, especially you went through that. You got to take a mental break in 2018. I had to do that, and I took Nona Jones' course, and it was a 4-month course, and it was life-changing. And one of the things she shared with us was the importance of making sure that you don't have too much on you. And so I was like, okay, so what does that look like? And so what I thought to myself was that it's like having, when you go to these family reunions or go to a dinner or go to a get together, a baby shower, and you go and you get this plate and you put all of this food on the plate. And while you have all of this food on the plate, you go and you sit down and you start to eat the food and you realize, oh my God, I got too much. And my husband and them always end up taking stuff off my plate, taking things off my plate, you know, because I don't eat it all. My eyes was bigger than my stomach, right? And I wanted more, but I put too much on there. It's the same way in life, is that we got to be willing to allow some people, and we're going to talk about that, allow some people to take some things away from you. We got to be willing to allow ourselves to understand what is necessary and what is really not necessary, and we're just moving, doing too much. And so what I realized in this is that, okay, Tanya, you got to find ways to be able to stay focused, do what you do. And I come to tell you, you got to still stay focused. You still got to live life. You still got to do things. You can't just shut everything out. You can't just quit, shrink everything off your plate. There are some things that you need that is necessary. Come here. Let's talk about this plate real quick. I didn't even know I was doing that. Let's talk about this plate real quick. There's some things you got to do to make sure, okay, on this plate, I got to make sure that I have some greens on this plate. The greens are necessary for me. Come here. I got to make sure that I have some meat on this plate. I need the proteins. There's some things that are necessary that is needed for your life so that you can be able to keep that focus, so that you can live your life the biggest way possible. And so I had to learn that, right? Learning that, still learning that. And so even understanding that, I gotta be consistent. We gotta be consistent with us getting to a point of shrinking those plates, getting to a point of living out our full lives. So the question may be, what does that look like? Here we go with my principles. And I will not be before you long. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching me now, I want to share with you these principles, right? The things that I'm learning, and I'm still learning. I always share with you. I don't want to ever share my victories. I also share my moments of mess ups and my mistakes. And this was one of my mistakes just recently. And I literally, it took everything this year. I started off the year and I was like, I need to take some of this stuff off my plate. I'm doing too much. And I need to get those that could help me and help me do what I'm doing. Right. And we got a little help for a minute. And then I was like, okay, I need full-time help. Okay. I need some full-time help that'll be able to help me take this off my plate. Because here's the thing, that because God give you a vision doesn't mean that no one else can come along and help you to birth that vision out, to make it better, right? And so I had to learn that. And so how do we get to a point of shrinking the plate? Here we go. Let's talk about it. How we get to a point of shrinking our plate. The one way that we get to a point, number one, how do we get to a point of shrinking our plate? Number one, well, let me add this before I even give you a point, is that I want to share with you how to shrink your plate by creating habits. Woo, if you're online live with me, you know I love the little talk back. If you're online, just share, write down, share, create habits. Create habits. We got to be willing to create habits. And if we do not create habits, we will create ourselves a disaster. We will create where you get to a point of mental health issues, where you get to a point of wanting to give up. You get to a point of wanting to throw in the towel. You may get to that point. And so realizing that I have to create habits, I got to be willing to create habits. How do I create these habits? Number one, my first point is you must be willing to take time for you. It is so important when you get to the process of shrinking your plate. You got to create this habit of taking time for you, taking your me time. If that is, I go to get my nails and my feet done every month. I have to do that. And it's relaxing for me. I always get them separate. And, most people do them together. No, baby, do mine separate. I can't schedule my whole day for this moment. I want my nails done first, and then I want y'all to massage my feet. I want that done, and I want the top notch, whatever you have with this pedicure, to get it done, because I realize that is my moment, and I turn off my phone in that moment because that's my me time. I turn off my phone once a year. My husband, they haven't done it in a minute, but I would just, if it's just me and my husband, I told my husband, like, I just need us to have a me time away from the house, away from everything, because it's necessary and it is needed. You got to take time for you if you're going to be able to shrink your plate. You got to take time. It's a mental health thing. It's a thing that you got to make sure that I'm just as important as everybody else that I give to. I'm just as important as everybody else that I pour into. I'm just, especially if you're a leader or you're doing business or you're out there moving in the world, you're doing different things for your family, for your children. We got to be willing to say, I got to take time for me. Because if I can't take time for me, I'm not loving on me. Oh, what's that song? I've been loving on me. Whatever I thought. Anyway, but my cousin told me about that song. But you got to love on you. You got to be willing to love on you, because it's so important. When you take that time out for you, you're able to grow. You're able to learn your identity. You're able to discover who you are as an individual after life has hit. You're able to realize that I am not the woman I used to be, and I'm a totally different woman now. So you got to be willing to take out time for you. The second thing that we must do is, after I've taken out time for me and took time for myself and spend time with me and learn who I am while I'm learning how to shrink my plate, number two, I got to wake up early. Come here. Wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to say that time, if you can. It is so important. There's a book called 5 a.m. I forgot the name. I haven't read it yet. I got to read it. It's called 5 a.m. Wake Up or something like that. Wake up 5 a.m. But waking up at 5 a.m., when you wake up early, you wake up ahead of the game. You wake up ahead of everybody else. When you wake up early, you're able to do things. I wake up at 5 a.m. and this is something I've created a habit to do. So when you wake up at 5 a.m., you're able to be ahead of the game. And when you're in the midst of waking up, number one, take time for yourself. Number two, wake up at 5 a.m. Number three, sit in silence for 10 minutes. Let your brain just sit there and not really think about what you're supposed to do next or what's going to happen. This really helps with your mental state, okay? This really helps to almost woosah for a moment. When we take the time to pause for a minute, if it's just 10 minutes, take a 10-minute sit in silence with nothing going on. Give your mind a break, especially if you like us, man. We always going, right? You want to make sure you give your mind a break. And while you're in the midst of giving your mind a break, be present. Come here. Don't doze off. Now, sometimes when I do this, I go to sleep. It's just, my mind just shuts down. And it's early in the morning. I may just go to sleep. And it's really the best sleep for 30 minutes that I ever have, right? But you got to be willing to take that time to sit in silence, man, so that you could just take a moment. This is a way of really shrinking your plate to where you're able to identify that. Number 4, work out. Hey, I got a treadmill in my office. I get up, my husband goes outside, work out, but don't do this every day. I got to create a habit of that, right? But working out this morning, working out, and understanding that this relaxes your body early in the morning. It just relaxes you. It just gives you that, it makes it better for that day. I don't know why, but just being able to relax. Number 5, I'm gonna share 8 of these with you, okay? 8 principles. Number 5, read 20 pages of a book. Read 20 pages of a book. When you read 20 pages of a book, it increases your focus. It increases your focus when you do this. Not only does it increase your focus, but it also gives you an opportunity to gain knowledge. It gives you an opportunity to gain knowledge when you're reading. It also gives you opportunity to not just gain knowledge, but it also reading. TD Jakes said this: reading is the exercise to your mind. Is when you're learning to do those things. This is a way for you to get focused on what you have to do and not what everybody else is wanting you to do, or all the other things, the access stuff that you have to do. Is learning to just do that. Also, one of my favorite things, number 6. So far, I've shared with you how to shrink your plate, creating habits, take time for yourself, wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, sit in silence for 10 minutes, work out. Number 4. Number 5, read 20 pages of a book or something online, or, something that you're listening to, or something that's I call, what is his name? Steve Harvey and TD Jakes on my coffee in the morning. I listen to them. It allows your mind and your creative juices to go to another level. But I would say also 6, when you're going down in your day, and do whatever else you got to do, right? After you've done that, now we get down to the night of the day. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit in the moment. So before I go to bed, I have a tablet on the side of my bed. And I just started this, okay? And it's so infusing, okay? And I want to share this with you because it's so infusing for me. I don't know if it'll work for everybody else, but it is something that I got from Oprah, okay? Oprah Winfrey. I got from her because it is working for her. So I was like, I want to see, will it work for me, right? So there's something you can try. And one of the things that I do is on the side of my bed when I get ready to go, before I go to sleep, is I learn how to write. Well, let me say this first before I say that. Number 6, I'm going to say this about number 6. Number 6, create a proper sleep schedule. Let's say that. I want to say that first. So number 6, create a proper sleep schedule. When you do that, it is so powerful. Creating a proper sleep schedule. Because here's the thing, some of us don't go to bed on time. Jesus on the main line. We wait and we go to bed 10, 11 o'clock. You gotta, especially if you're getting older, baby, you better make you a sleep schedule. You have to go to sleep. So what happens when you have a sleep schedule? It allows you, sleep is so essential for you. It's so important for us when we have the sleep schedule, especially when you're moving and you're grooving into your purpose, into what God has called you to do. You're working, you're taking care of kids, you're doing all these extra things. And because of that, what happens is you got to create a sleep schedule. So it helps you with performance. In your business and on your job, with whatever you have doing, it really helps you with performance. Today, baby, I got so much great sleep last night. I was like, let me get up and let me do a live with Facebook. I got a little time to spare. Let me do a live before I deep dive in other stuff that I have to do for Heart and Enterprise. Let me deep dive it. I'm so energetic because of proper sleep. I went to bed last night at 9 o'clock. Because of proper sleep, you're able to move in your performance. You're able to have a mental health when you have, you think right when you have great sleep. Let the church say amen. You think right when you have great sleep. You also, it reduces your stress level. It reduces your stress level. And it also improves your mood. Like I told you, I'm in a good mood today. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna be tomorrow, but today I'm in a good mood. I am in an amazing mood because I had great sleep. Yeah. So you got to create proper sleep. Number 6. Number 7. This is what the part I was talking about earlier, and I just switched up the things, is that number 7 is write down my thoughts. So when I create the sleep method, I sit on the side of my bed, I have a tablet, I have a little journal. And so in that journal, I write down my thoughts. And again, I learned this from Oprah. I write down my thoughts. You write down 5 things that you're grateful for that day. I shared this with the Women of Destiny when I did a masterclass with them. Write down 5 things that you're grateful for. What you're grateful for? It allows you to appreciate your day. Come here. It allows you to appreciate your day, appreciate what God is doing, appreciate everything about you. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at Bishop is on the porch, and I don't know what he's fussing at somebody, but appreciate your it's a dog. Appreciate your day. So 5 things that makes you appreciate. It gives you a heart of gratitude. It gives you a heart of thanksgiving. All of that great stuff, right? Then you want to write down your negative thoughts, right? What are the things that are negative that I can do better as an individual? And so I was telling Bishop, I say, I gotta do better with some things in my life. Okay. Some things I gotta do better. I gotta do better. Yeah, hey, Brother Jim. Yes, when you get some sleep, I know, right? So I gotta do better. I have to do better with some things in my life. So write down those negative thoughts that you have. And when you write down those negative thoughts, it allows you to kind of release that off of you. Release it in the atmosphere. It allows you to let go. It allows you to be at a point to say, okay, Lord, I'm just going to give this over to you. The Bible says, cast all your cares on me, on God. So God, I'm going to throw this up to you. These are all the negative things. And these are some things that I have to, if it's within myself or the things that have happened. And that way I don't sleep about this. I'm not thinking about this in my dreams. I'm releasing it, and it is what it is. And it happened. The next thing that you want to write down your thoughts about is your goals for tomorrow. If you notice, I had you write about something good. And again, I learned this from Oprah. Write down something good, something bad. And now we're going to talk about what we're going to do tomorrow. Now your focus is back to your goal. Come here. Your focus is back to your purpose. Your focus is back to what you're designed to do. And you're no longer on the negative thoughts. It's done. It's over with. It happened that day. It is what it is. Let's keep it moving, right? We're going to keep it moving. So you got to be willing to write down your thoughts. Number 8, and lastly, number 8, come here. 8 means new beginning. New beginning. Number 8, another way to create a habit of shrinking our plates is sharing your weight, your things with someone else. Give them an opportunity to do it. Sharing or taking off some things on your calendar. Sharing or taking off some things on your calendar. When you're able to do that, man, it's like you're able to really, 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 really release some things that are on your plate. You're not Superwoman. You're not Superman. You cannot do everything. You got to do what is necessary for you. You got to do what's necessary. Not if, everybody wants you to do all the extra stuff. Do what's necessary for you and the things that are going to grow you and the things that are going to make you better. You got to be willing to do that. You got to be willing. If you're in the house with several people, we got us, my children, right, that are in our house. I got to be willing to delegate. I got to be willing to, let some things go and we have different cooking days. Different people cook on different days. Today is not my day to cook. Praise the Lord. I think it's Kiana's day to cook. But being able to delegate some of the roles that are in the house that you don't have to do. If you are single and it's just you, being willing to delegate and give some things to someone else that you're not able to do, and be willing to understand the power of no. Come here. Be willing to understand, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Yeah. And know that your no means no. And that's it. And no reason to change and no reason to go back. But even though your no is no, also walk in integrity. If you said you're going to do it, do it. Integrity is the way. Integrity is the way. It's a part of your character. It's character building when you walk in integrity. All right. Oh, you just get to the point, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. I can't do it. Get somebody else to do it. Yeah, you got to be willing to do that. So how do you shrink your plate? Number 1, take the time for you. Number 2, wake up early, 5 a.m. Wake up early in the morning. 3, sit in silence for 10 minutes and have that moment, just you and God. It's a mental thing. You just need that. Number 4, work out. Number 5, read 20 pages of something, a book or something online, or or listen to something online, or something that's going to empower you, that's going to encourage you. I told you I listen to T.D. Jakes, or I listen to Steve Harvey, something that's going to be motivational, or Oprah Winfrey. I'm going to listen to somebody that's going to be motivation to my spirit, or I'm going to read something that is going to be motivational to my spirit. How do you shrink your plate? Create these habits. Number 6, create a proper sleep schedule. Create a proper sleep schedule. When you create a proper sleep schedule, it is great for you. Number 7, write down your thoughts. Write them down. Number 8, share or take some things off of your calendar. Share or take some things off your calendar. Be willing to share. As I stated earlier, my husband and them will take stuff off my plate. Be willing to share your plate with someone else. What does this do when you learn how to shrink your plate? And I'm done. It teaches you how to stay focused and how to keep your momentum. Come here. It teaches you how to stay focused, but most of all, it teaches you how to keep your momentum. You got to keep your momentum. If we're going to do this thing called life, we got to keep our momentum. We got to stay focused. And the only way you're going to do that, you got to shrink your plate. You have to. It's a must. It's a must that you shrink your plate. Listen, I pray that this encourage you. If you join later, just watch the replay. Thank y'all for rocking out. Next time I'll make sure I do a flyer or something to let you know when I'm going live. I did not have time because I slept well and I just wanted to pop up and do a live because of something that I told the Kingdom Women Connect that I would do, was to come and teach how to shrink your plate, give you principles and all of that great stuff. Listen, if you are not a part of the Lions Den, the Facebook Lions Den, go ahead and join that. Yeah. Facebook Lions Den, Lions Den Small Business Community. Join that and be a part of that. It's on Facebook. It's a free opportunity, but please know that our VIP is happening and it is off the chain. It is a growing community that you're welcome to join and be a part of. I have a video that I'm going to show. You'll get that probably tomorrow where I'm talking about why you want to join this VIP Lions Den subscription that we have for small business communities. If you want to start, if you want to sustain, or if you want to scale your business, you want to be a part of that with us, with me and my hubby, as we share different things. And we're about to go live either this week sometime where we're talking about the power of 50K in the free Facebook group. You got to join and be a part of that. But until next time, if you don't remember anything else, remember this, that you are a product of God's grace and mercy when you learn to see yourself through God's eyes and not people. Thank you to those that rocked out with me live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those who's watching the replay, make sure you like and share all that great stuff. Stay blessed in all that you do. Bye-bye.